in social media, if you try to just sell products, you're not going to succeed unless you have a very unique product that is revolutionizing. You have to figure out a way to provide value first, and what is your superpower. So the same thing for an agency. How can you help somebody? Jason, is there something more affordable to create a business? What are your thoughts on, like what I just said at the intro before I brought you in, or the ease financially, the financial burden that it really is for a person as an agency owner to start compared to other businesses out there? What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, all you need is a computer, and you don't even need an internet connection, obviously, because it sucks here, but you can go to Starbucks. Right?
Go to Starbucks, start an agency there. That's right. I'm sure you've seen those stories, right, Jason? People that have started their agency in Starbucks. Talking about internet connections.
Oh, yeah, all the time. I mean, or they go to...
We got you back now, but we lost you for a
there
second.
There we go.
Yeah, okay. So you do need an internet connection, guys, all right? You do need an internet connection. Let's just be clear. But it can be Starbucks internet connection.
Yeah, it's crazy. I've done literally 30 interviews in the past week here, and it's been all great. So for everyone listening, I sincerely apologize, but I don't know what's going on.
That's okay. We're making it happen, Jason. So yes, all you need is an internet connection and a computer, right?
And the knowledge to know how to do something well for someone. Like I get a lot of people reaching out to me. They're like, hey, can you actually help me start an agency? I'm like, cool. You know, what's the superpower? How can you help people? They're like, well, I need to figure that out. I'm like, you're not ready to start an agency. Like have to know how to do something really amazing for a particular audience.
That's step one.
Or go to school.
Right? That's number one step. You got to figure out how you can help people. Always.
Exactly.
And it's interesting because that's the way it works for not only as an agency, but as a brand. In social media, if you try to just sell products, you're not going to succeed unless you have a very unique product that is revolutionizing. If you're not Elon Musk creating revolutionary products or things that nobody else invents, you have to figure out a way to provide value first. And what is your superpower? So the same thing for an agency. How can you help somebody? So Jason, what is the roadmap for a person to figure that out? What are your thoughts on that? What do you tell somebody that? How do they figure out how to help somebody?
Well, I mean, you have to. That's a loaded question, right? Like you have to, like with my case, like I knew how to design websites and do user experience, and then I figured out how to get them, listed on all the directories because Google wasn't around back then, right? Like literally it was like Alta Vista and Excite, like things that are not even around anymore. So you have to make sure you do that. But going back to like your question about what's the step to start an agency? Actually, an easier part is to go buy an agency that's already working. Like literally, if you want to even if you don't even know how to do a particular service and you want to get into this amazing industry, go find an agency that's profitable, that's not strict, and you can buy them. People think is I can't because I don't have the revenue, but you can get, like, especially in these times, you can get interest-only loans for very cheap. And then if you buy a really successful agency, they're going to, you're going to be able to make those payments back and then some. And then in the next couple of years, you're going to own it fully outright. And you can do that over and over again. And that's how, we've grown so quickly in the second agency is through acquisitions.
Definitely a subject that I'm very interested in, Jason. Would you say that going to a place like SBA.gov, you can probably get a huge loan and use that to buy an agency?
Oh, most definitely. And talk with your local bank, your credit unions, all those. There's a lot of opportunity out there, or there's also a lot of grants out there sometimes that I've seen people utilize in order to make purchases. A lot of times I talk to agency owners and they're like, look, we have a ton of cash in the bank. And when you buy an agency, let's say you buy $1 million agency, you don't have to give them $1 million. What you can do is you can give them a quarter or 50% of whatever you evaluate their agency for. So let's say they're $1 million agency, they make $250,000 in profit. So their margins are 25%. So I would value their agency at maybe 500,000 in revenue. So all you need to really purchase them is 250,000 loan, and then the rest you can pay them in their performance of the agency of how it actually does. So it actually makes it a lot more attainable in order to buy a business, because a lot of times, and I remember when I first started, I used to think, I have to come up with millions of dollars to buy an agency, and you don't.
Why would an agency owner, Jason, be interested in selling an agency that's profitable? What's happening with these guys?
Well, you never know. It's kind of like a duck on the water, right? Like they all look calm and cool on the top, but if you really looked under the surface, their legs are moving 1,000 miles per hour. And it could be a number of different things. They could be like, hey, I want to take some chips off the table, right? So when we come in and purchase an agency, and we purchase a very healthy agency, that owner may want to take some chips off the table because there's always uncertainty. You never know what's around the corner. And so we'll be like, we'll give you 50% here, and then you have an upsell or an opportunity to make 10 times that in the next couple of years because you own part of the other. There could be, I've even heard reasons that their lease is up. Like I've literally heard that several times, because when you sign a lease on your building, it's like 5 years, sometimes 3 years, 10 years. They're like, hey, it's up, I don't want to do it. Or there's something in their agency, and get to a point like, in part of my origin story, when I went to go interview, there was things I hated, but maybe they didn't figure out what they actually needed to do. Or they just got to a point where they think the grass is greener on the other side, and they want to go develop, a software product, which I'll tell you, the grass is greener on the side you actually water. So you just got to, figure that out. I developed an iPhone app and I hated it. I was like, I need to get back in the agency world.
I like that. A grass is greener on the other side that you actually water. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Never heard that one before. Good, Jason. So I know I've seen this website that I followed for a long time called websiteclosers.com. I think that's what it's called. And it's a website. I don't know if you heard about this one, but they sell a lot of brands. I haven't seen agencies being sold there, but it's people that have, maybe they're done with it. Maybe they want to have an inheritance for their children. Maybe they just gave up on it and they're selling their brand. So I have seen this over the years. I have never acted on any of them, but it's something that I find interesting because I'm sure there are opportunities, especially because I can tell you a viewpoint that I have as an agency owner. I talked about this with you on your podcast, Jason, but I happen to own a brand that it's the biggest client for my agency. I own it. So it's like I get both sides of it. I'm the marketing agency for it, and I have a vested interest in it because I own it. So it's almost like I built this machine, and this machine is incredible. And I have this machine with a lot of different skills in it. Video editing, copywriting, Facebook ads experts, ManyChat experts, and I have all these people that are incredible talent, and I use these people to grow that particular brand. So for me, I also have this intention of building a machine that I can bring companies that I own also through this machine, because then you start building a lot more wealth along the way. I know that I can, like they say, flip a house. I can flip a business because I have the marketing knowledge to flip it and make it successful. So that's one of the things that I have as an end goal with the marketing agency, that I am building this agency that I can pour any marketing into it and any brand and help it grow. And I have been very successful with my brand. It's called Natural Slim. It's co-owned by my father, myself, and my wife, and we have taken it with marketing on this agency being the number one driver from $1 million on a small little island to $50 million internationally, and we've done really well with it. It is a big story of ours. So this is something that down the line for me is a big goal, that I use this agency as this machine that can run brands through, and now you're not really just servicing people. You're building something that is going to help you build wealth across the boards.
Yeah, you know, I look at there's kind of three pathways that you can of creating an agency, right? You can create the lifestyle business, where, you know, it just provides you amazing lifestyle. You can pick and choose and have your freedom. The other one is you can build it up to sell. And then the other one, like you described, you're an incubator agency, right? Like that's what 𝗟𝗢𝗟𝗏𝗥's doing. That's what you're doing. Where like with VaynerMedia, they don't care about profit. They're just caring about like, how do we create this amazing incubator that we can just bolt on to all these other businesses that we own and then flip those or turn right. And just, you know, because it is hard to find a really good agency that can do all these things. And if you trust it, you know, that's even better. So that's I applaud you for that. That's a really good pathway.